We should also cut through the regulatory red tape that holds up wind power projects for years. And given advances in drilling technology, we should explore for oil and natural gas off of both our Pacific and Atlantic coasts and in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. We will be using fossil fuels for decades to come, and it's actually much better for the environment and for our national security to extract them closer to home rather than to import them from abroad. Finally, when it comes to the issue of health care, let me assure you, plain and simply, that I will work to repeal Obamacare. But again, just saying no to Obamacare isn't enough. Healthcare costs are way too high, and too many Americans can't afford insurance. What we need is genuine market-based reform. Let people buy health insurance across state lines so the markets aren't as concentrated. You have more competition, more choice, lower prices. Allow small businesses to pool together so they can get the same cheaper rates for health insurance that big businesses get. Let's expand the availability of health savings accounts. And let's once and for all stand up to the trial lawyers and enact meaningful malpractice reform. Now, turning closer to home, we need to restore honor and integrity to the 8th District seat. Jim Moran is no longer representing the people of the 8th District. He's just representing Jim Moran. He's disgraced himself and brought disgrace on Congress by trading earmarks for campaign contributions. It's a pay-to-play scheme reminiscent of Rod Blagojevich's Illinois. He received a sweetheart loan deal from MBNA and then became the lead Democratic sponsor shortly thereafter of a bankruptcy bill sponsored by MBNA. And he obtained a personal loan from a drug company lobbyist and then shortly thereafter sponsored a bill to extend that company's monopoly on a drug. Jim Moran's also embarrassed us far too many times. Whether he's blaming American Jews for the Iraq War, accusing U.S. troops in Iraq of engaging in ethnic cleansing, or even comparing Virginia Republicans to the Taliban, his mode of operation is to talk first and think later, if he ever thinks at all. Mine is the opposite. I also don't think that a congressman should be constantly dividing people or attacking the motives of those who disagree with him or her. As your congressman, I will seek to promote civil dialogue among people of goodwill and to show that people can disagree without being disagreeable. Now let me close on the following note. Even though it is my name that will be on the ballot, this election is not about me. Unlike Jim Moran, I don't believe that I'm personally entitled to the 8th District seat, nor do I think that I'm a special person that is gracing the people of the 8th District with my presence and the honor of my candidacy. I'm someone with strengths and weaknesses just like everyone else in this room. And let me assure you, when you are a candidate, people do not hesitate to point out to you on a regular basis what they think your weaknesses are. For example, some people say that when I speak, maybe like today, I come across maybe as a bit too wonky. But to paraphrase former President George H.W. Bush, I prefer to think of it as being fair to the other side by keeping my charisma in check. I do strongly believe, however, that our campaign represents by far the best chance to defeat Jim Moran. And that's not so much because of me, but of all the people we've brought together. It's our campaign that has assembled a diverse coalition of supporters that spans the entire spectrum of the Republican Party. It's our campaign that has raised the most money of any Republican challenger to Jim Moran has ever raised at this point in election. And indeed, in the last quarter, and I must confess I was even surprised to see this, we raised more money from individual donors than Jim Moran did. The incumbent. It is our campaign that's now enrolled in the National Republican Congressional Committee's Young Guns program, and it is our campaign that has the best chance of getting the crossover votes from Democrats and independents that we will need to win in November, as shown by the Terrence Group poll that shows us within the margin of error against Jim Moran in an informed head-to-head. But even though things look good now, we can't take anything for granted. From now until June 8th, we need to do everything that we can to get our message out to the voters of the 8th District. And let me be as clear as I possibly can on this point. I need your help. There are a variety of ways you can assist. If you have time to help us on weekends, to go door to door, that would be great. You can display a bumper sticker on your car. They're in the back. You can put a sign in your yard. They're over there. You can host a campaign coffee at your house so we can get our message out. And yes, if you're able to do so, please make a financial contribution to the campaign because that funds everything else. We have donation forms in the back. If we do what we need to do between now and June 8th, I'm convinced that we will be in a position on June 9th to wage the most competitive general election campaign that this district has seen in almost a generation. Unlike in past election cycles, the 8th District does not have to be an afterthought. Well, the big actions going on in the 11th District or the 5th District or the 2nd District. We can be in the center of the fight right here in the 8th District. I look forward to that fight, and I believe we'll win that fight and send Jim Moran into retirement. Thank you very much for your support. I'm so grateful.